You can see on the left side of your screen, A West, despite being down with a sizable deficit, 38-6 here at the halftime intermission. The guys in purple on the left side, they're pumped up, ready to go. Just to the far right side, Ralston Valley warming up as we approach the second half of this ball game at the North Area Athletic Complex in Arvada. Rivalry in-town matchup. Ralston Valley looking good right now, 38-6. Marty Cesario, Josh Dover. Stream It Sports here in moments. We'll be joined by Ethan Gordon from the Ralston Valley Broadcasting Club. But let's just recall what we witnessed through the first two quarters. Impact plays, things that you thought made a huge difference in this ball game.
Well, 38-6, you mentioned it there, Marty. It's the running game. It's Ralston Valley being that powerhouse that we talked about, and Matt Lloyd told me before the game, he's got multiple weapons that can do multiple things for this football team, and that's what we saw in the first half. Of course, Andrew Wigard, we seen him make the one mental mistake of trying to field the ball inside of the 10, couldn't do it, led to the only Arvada West touchdown. But outside of that, Wingard's been basically flawless. A big 25, 30-yard run on the far side going this way. And then on the other side, we saw Kyle Rush do the same thing, the last touchdown for the Mustangs. And we can't forget about the big guy, Anthony Falbo,
yes,
who has been dominating inside those hash marks like you talked about. That's where he wants to live, and that's exactly what he has done all throughout the first half.
Falbo may be one of the most entertaining football players in the state of Colorado in 2014. And Wingard, you know, when you mention the multiple weapons, the assets, the resources for Coach Lloyd and the RV program, Wingard, we don't have the official stats, but he must have maybe, a total of 5 touches in, through the first half of play. He does have the one touchdown, but that just shows, Wingard, who's an all-state candidate, we don't necessarily have to go to 28 all the time, and that's been proven over and over and over again with the gives on the counter to Kyle Rush. And then, of course, Mr. Falbo there just bruising, busting, battling.
And all of that, the fact that this Ralston Valley team has so many options will prove to be so vital and valuable when, and I'm looking way ahead, but when we start talking about state playoffs, because how is a coach going to game plan when you have 4 different guys you can hand the football off to, and we haven't even talked about them throwing the ball yet.
Right. They haven't gone to the passing game, but just a few times. In terms of credibility early on in the season with a 2-0 start, if you're wondering, hey, is RV legit, when we're just talking down on the field, I think the answer is yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And Arvada West, this is an uphill battle. They've had their moments where they've looked good. Thorsten, who we talked about, the quarterback, has shown some good things, staying in the pocket, knowing he's going to take a hit and delivering pretty good balls. But as I said in the first half, when you are Arvada West looking up at this Ralston Valley team, all the breaks have to go your way, and that hasn't been the case for the Wildcats.
We cannot go through 2 quarters and a halftime intermission without mentioning that D-line for Ralston Valley, who pretty much dictated everything, field position, and certainly where Travis Thorsten, whether he's upright or not. Colin Root, Dylan Baker, Kyle Emery throwing the linebacker Jack Martin, Anthony Vessa on the blitz. Those guys have just made gigantic impact and really put RV in great position. Kickoff underway, as you see. Ralston Valley, a horrible field position for them considering what we saw in the first 2 quarters. RV repeatedly starting at the 40, 45, around midfield here to kick off this second quarter. The Mustangs will line up at the 26-yard line, which is just unorthodox for what we've witnessed throughout this ball game so far.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, they've started, and you documented it in the first half, about the 40-yard line, and if we had to pick an average, that's probably exactly what it would be at, starting at their 40-yard line. And here at the 26, as Marty said.
Well, here's Rush. Why not? As we just were talking about Kyle Rush on that counter play. He gets it. Nice blocking from the left side. Michael McLean and Robert Madoli giving Rush some space. A gain of 7 yards.
That Arvada West defense cheating up a little bit. We've seen them get burnt by that in the first half. I don't think Matt Lloyd is going to try to throw the football at all here, though.
The gain was 8 by Rush. Number 30 has it once again, and he will have a first down.
Kyle Rush now, we're going to see a heavy dose of the run game, and the 3-headed monster in the backfield for the Mustangs, Rush, Wingard, and Falbo.
So runs of 8 and then 7 for Kyle Rush, who's lined up on this near side wing here. And it's a first down play for Ralston Valley. Coming back this way, is that Wingard coming through? I believe so. Short gain, nice stop defensively on the part of Shane Hoyer.
It's a good defensive stop there. Again, I mentioned in the first half, those defensive ends have to stay home. And good job there from Hoyer staying home, making the play. You've seen Wingard go in motion that time.
The AWS defense obviously would game plan for 28 Wingard. They've held him in check, but all sorts of other things going on for the RV offense. You saw rolling to this near side here, probing downfield, Chase Heffley, the quarterback for Ralston Valley, eventually couldn't find anybody. Might have been prime target Kyle Root, but good defensive positioning in the backfield there. Nicholas Smith on Root's hip and able to force the incompletion.
That's a good job from Heffley. Keep that ball cocked, ready to go as he rolled out, keeping his eyes downfield. Didn't see anything, decided to throw the football. You live to fight another down.
Handoff, Wingard, interior, dropped for a short gain.
It's going to bring up fourth down for the Mustangs.
Don't trust Coach Lloyd, especially around midfield.
Yeah.
They're going to go for it here. Ralston Valley in white up 38-6. We've just begun the second half.
This could be big for the Arvada West defense. Well, they're not going to get him.
And I believe Kyle Rush is going to be off to the races once again. Nice chase on the part of Stefano Finelli to eventually get to Rush, but that's a gigantic gain on a fourth down play from midfield. Kyle Rush puts the Mustangs inside the 10-yard line.
Thought Kyle Rush was a little slow to get up. He's going to run off the field. I'll do my best to keep an eye on him. He looked like he's a little slow to get up. Now he's going to come off. See how quickly he returns to this football game. It's another thing Matt Lloyd's got to keep in mind. You're up big. This is a long season. You got to keep these guys fresh and healthy, more importantly.
We haven't seen Noah Wells carry the ball too much. Started doing that in the second quarter, 1 or 2 carries, and did very well. 25, you can see on the screen there here on Stream at Sports. With a short gain, that's a 9-yard gain after the 39-yard run by Kyle Rush. So gain of 9. Scoreboard says 8 yards. The Mustangs can get a first down. Look at Wells hop over the defender.
He's going to be stopped. It looks like they're going to mark him at about the 2.
First down marker at the 1.5-yard line, which means Ralston Valley's just inches short of securing that first down. After the Wells run, hop, jump, fake to Wells. Near side here, it looked like Falbo was open, electing to go to Wingard. That's going to be a touchdown for Ralston Valley. No, back of the end zone. Foot was down.
Caught it out of bounds.
Falbo was wide open, but Heffley wanted the deep route.
Looked like Heffley maybe respecting those defenders' speed there, because I saw the same thing you did, Marty, with Falbo by himself, a defender a couple of yards away. Maybe that's just Heffley, as I said, respecting the speed of that defender. I wasn't sure why he didn't throw the football. Now fourth down, they'll go for it again.
Everybody tight. Wells is going to get it left side. Did he get over the goal line? Yes. Touchdown up in the air. Wells has his first touchdown of the game. Smart move. What you do if you're a ball carrier, follow that fullback, Anthony Falbo. Things will come out really well for you, and it's another touchdown for RV.
Wells with the touchdown there. You see Rush come off the field. Wells replaced him. Kyle Rush hasn't returned yet. As I said, we'll keep an eye on it. Update you if we can. But again, Matt Lloyd was not kidding when he said he had multiple weapons before this football game. You've seen another one there score a touchdown for the Mustangs. Now that one clanked off the upright that time.
So rare miscue in the kicking game for Kyle Root, and Ralston Valley, after the Noah Wells 2-yard run for a score, the Mustangs up 44-6. And speaking of the Mustangs, let's go ahead and have our guest join us here. Ethan Jordan from the Ralston Valley Broadcasting Club is with us. And, certainly you and the student body, all your classmates, got to be pretty pumped about this performance.
We know the team has been a lot better this year, we noticed, and it's just really the halls are more alive. Everyone's more alive. Just the turnouts have been better, too. Just the way the team's playing, ranked number 2 in the state. I mean, it's just everyone's really excited about this football team right now.
So, Ethan, tell us a little about the Ralston Valley Broadcasting Club. What do you guys do?
Well, it's a club we meet sometime in certain mornings of the week, and we come out here and we do essentially the same thing you guys do, and we stream the game online. We broadcast it. Now, is ours as nice as yours? Probably not, but that's just what we do. We have maybe 10 guys in the club, and certain days we'll have certain guys come out. We don't just broadcast football. We'll do volleyball, maybe some softball, baseball later this year, basketball.
Well, it's a kudos to the school and the program as a great idea, and a guy like yourself know what you want to do, something to get in early. I think it's great you capitalizing on the opportunity.
You say the halls are alive because you know what we have out there in a football squad. Why do you think this team is so good and is showing so well?
Well, first of all, you've got a great coach Coach Lloyd. You know, he knows when to buckle down and have the team work, but he also, you know, you see him in the halls, he's just his wife, who works in the athletic department, calls him the big teddy bear. He's just a nice guy and really knows his stuff with football. And you know, the guys really, they're real athletes out there. A lot of the guys out there, they don't just play football. There's many players on this team that play, whether it's basketball or they do wrestling or they play baseball. Just to mention a few, Anthony Vessa and Dalton Pribble, 2 of the defenders here for Ralston Valley, they play baseball. Both very good athletes. And then Kyle Rush, he used to play baseball. I believe he just really wants to focus on football now. And then Andrew Wingard, he plays basketball, really good basketball player. He does everything on the field and with that. And to mention extracurricular activities, Cooper Lloyd, the other quarterback besides Chase Heffley for Ralston Valley, you know, he really helps out in the special ed classroom at Ralston Valley. You see him doing that a lot, and that's just great to see. All the football players are really involved, really leaders at the school.
You know, it's funny you talk about the diversity, too. Your lead instructor for the Ralston Valley Broadcasting Club is Mitch Conrad, and he's the head coach of the Hoop Squad.
That's right.
Which is kind of neat, too.
He's always trying to get us to get his basketball games in. Oh, there's another game tonight? No, we need to do the basketball game tonight.
Right, exactly. Does that affect his the way he teaches? You know, does he draw it up on the board? You know?
All right, so you're going to move here on a cross inside to the broadcasting booth.
Exactly.
And then, yeah.
Exactly. Before the broadcast, wind sprints. And we're gonna
right. Ethan, you talked about multiple sports. Marty, I think you said it during the break there. Some coaches frown upon that. Mm-hmm. How do the student athletes think about it? They want to play multiple sports, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's not just the athletes. The athletes, of course, obviously want to play multiple sports, you know, get involved in lots of things. They enjoy playing all sports. But Coach Lloyd really and his staff really stress playing multiple sports. They actually want the guys to go out and play a spring sport, whether it's track or baseball.
You see a first down pickup, well, just short of it, as Thorsten able to get one off, completed successfully to Dominic Morris, who's probably had the lead impact for the Arvada West offense. It was actually a first down pickup, so 30-yard line for A West, trying to put together a drive which we have not seen in a while. Score 44-6. A West, the Purple Cats, have a lot of work to do, try to get back in this ball game here. There's a pass to the near side. And that will be another first down pickup. Feeling the hit. Brody Bauman.
Wingard, who made the hit, and he had something to say to the Wildcat receiver, and he's going to be flagged. That's going to be an unsportsmanlike conduct. Wingard really laid the wood there, but you just got to get up and run back to the huddle. No need to talk, especially with a big lead like that.
We'll let the officials sort it out. Ethan, we want to give some love to you, and definitely wanted to give you some reps being around, highly professional people like ourselves. Hey, why are you giggling? But if someone wanted to consume your product, where would they go to catch an RV broadcast?
Well, if you go to the Ralston Valley homepage, there is a big link on there to the Mustang Video Productions, which is Mr. Conrad also not only runs the broadcasting club, he also does other video things such as video yearbooks. And if you click on that, there's a link on that page to the iHigh. We run through iHigh is our broadcast.
Okay, perfect.
And we have almost every football game and but maybe a lot of other sports too. We're really trying to expand it this year.
There we go. Well, it's good to have you around because we all talk about it. Really what we're all trying to do is give you and guys your age, athletes, some coverage, no matter who's doing it. Thanks a lot for visiting with us. Appreciate that,
Yeah,
Ethan.
lots of fun. Good
Thanks,
to see
Ethan.
you.
All right.
Being here.
Ethan Jordan from the Ralston Valley Broadcasting Club, a little bit of insight with what's going on not only with his broadcast crew but also inside the halls of RV. And then he just sold out Coach Lloyd.
That's right.
That
yeah.
Rachel, his wife, calls him Big Teddy Bear within the high school halls. That is absolutely awesome. We appreciate that. And, again, it's all about giving something to a young guy, right?
We'll see if I can sneak in the Big Teddy Bear reference with Coach Lloyd after the game.
Absolutely. 7-12 third quarter, that's where we're at. Arvada West has, in fact, put together a nice drive. Their crowd underneath us pretty happy. There's another completion to Morris, and I believe that's going to be just short of the first down, but inside the 20 now, and threatening is A West.
You know, we're going to give you our next level student-athlete player of the game when this thing is over, and it's obviously going to go to a winning player
Right.
on a winning team. But what Thorsten is doing right here on this drive and what I've talked about him stepping into that pocket, knowing he's going to take a big lick, has been very impressive here.
We know we've seen some excellent things from the ball carrier, Joey Perez, the sophomore, getting up the middle there. So Arvada West, Coach Pyatt and his offensive staff finding some things to exploit here on this drive. This started at the 20-yard line. They've advanced this far to where they're at the 14-yard line. It's a first down after the run by Perez. Thorsten has, I don't think once he's been under center. He drops back here, avoids the pressure this time, near side on the run, looks down low. Ooh, DB read that easily. That's another interception for Ralston Valley with the pick. Greg Castanuela, his second of the ball game.
Absolutely. He had one on the far side right there. And Thorsten, way to keep the play alive with his feet, and as he rolled, he's seen a receiver. The window was very, very small, and he tried to force it in there. Just didn't have the arm strength. Not that he doesn't, but he was rolling out, and that, as you know, always makes it that much more difficult. So a big drive, a long drive for the Wildcats, comes to an end abruptly with an interception.
Yeah, I hate to have that drive finish off like that, not just because points, but you're putting some nice things together, and then an interception. You have to credit Castanuela on his play. He read eyes of the quarterback and just took it away. And in the meantime, here comes Kyle Rush. Is he going to be able to escape? Yes, he is, at least for a while. Can he outrun the defenders along the near sideline all the way for the touchdown? Another one for Ralston Valley and Kyle Rush.
Kyle Rush breaks to the outside, and once that happens, you are not going to catch him. It was a foot race between Rush, and Jaden Leavitt. And Leavitt dove but couldn't trip him as Rush rumbled into the end zone. Kyle Rush, talking about that next level player of the game, he certainly is putting his name in the hat.
Yeah, he's on the watch list, right? There's no question about that. He's been big money. The play itself, that counter play, and then number 30 as a performer, no question. We are keeping an eye on him for getting that award. An 80-yard touchdown run. Kyle Rush, Root converts on the kick, plus 50 on the scoreboard. For Ralston Valley, the score is 51-6 at the 5:06 mark in the third quarter.
So we'll now enter into the rolling clock territory as Ralston Valley extends their lead to 40+. So now Arvada West looking at a big deficit, and the clock will not be their friend at this point.
Checking a score from Jefferson County Stadium, Columbine 21-7 at the end of the third quarter.
And Bear Creek getting on the board there.
Zach Morris and his crew, the Bear Creek Bears, trying to upend the Rebels from Columbine with Coach Andy Lowry. Not happening right now, but as Josh just said, hey, there's a score for Bear Creek. And that deficit's a lot thinner than what you're watching here at the NAC. 51-6, we do have running clock. Incompletions, any whistles, doesn't matter. The clock will continue to roll. Root, real strong on the kickoff. That goes out of bounds. No threat of a return.
Been impressed with Colin Root's foot.
Mm-hmm.
He's been sending almost every kick into the end zone.
Yeah, I errantly asked Coach Lloyd in our production call during the week. I said, if I remember right, is he a straight-on kicker? Yeah, he's like, no, man. Yeah, this guy can boot it. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right.
And it looks like Ralston Valley's twos have entered the game. We talked about it, Marty. We thought maybe Coach Lloyd would wait until he got that rolling clock. But it's going to get his young guys some reps.
Maybe some of the leaders still out there. I see Jack Martin, the linebacker. He's still out on the football field, along with Dallin Jones, but starting to rotating in some different guys with this sizable lead for Ralston Valley. The guys in Columbia blue with the new get-up, new jerseys. I asked Coach Lloyd, who makes those decisions? That's all me.
Oh, really?
His attitude is
I bet the athletic director would say the same.
You know, his attitude, as he explained to me, was all the equipment has to be treated every year anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So why not go ahead and make some tweaks, changes? You're a football fan watching. You know how it is at the college level, and it's become really, more so at the high school level too. Kids like, and it's fun to switch up the fashion.
Absolutely.
So why not? Arvada West has done the same thing. I love their helmets.
They look good, feel good, play good.
Yeah.
That
applies on the field, in the office, wherever, right?
Absolutely.
That's why I'm wearing my Mickey Mouse hoodie.
There's an interception. Oh, wow. Big block downfield as well. That's going to leave an Arvada West player. Now he's going to pop back up. But the interception made by the Mustangs as the Wildcats turn downfield.
Nick Eberle with the interception, giving me a hint with his performance while I'm joking around about Mickey Mouse. Would you mind watching this? Gets the interception from his linebacking position, advances to the 4-yard line. Now, Ralston Valley, you would assume we're going to see a bunch of the reserves out there, although I do see Big 44 Anthony Falbo coming out.
This is Anthony Falbo territory written all over it right here. Inside the hash marks, you only need a few yards for a touchdown. Give the ball to the big fella and let him rumble home.
And the handoff is indeed to Falbo.
Now pushing him back that time.
Stopped at about the 2-yard line. Falbo is now going to come off the field. Wells will come in to be perhaps the primary ball carrier. Ball at the 1-yard line. Ralston Valley threatening to put up more points on their in-town rivals. Up 51-6 after the Nick Eberle interception.
Again on that interception, going back to it, Thorsten just not enough arm strength as he rolled out. Oh, busted play.
Counter coming this way. I don't think that's Kyle Rush over there with the football. No, it's not. Dalton Pribble, I believe. Ralston Valley is they've got a program where last 3, 4, 5 years, every year when I do the preseason calls in the summertime with Lloyd, I go, what's the number? Because he has 100+ kids show up for his program every year. That sophomores, juniors, and then the freshmen. He's got about 180 in the total program. And I say, well, that must be, one, the Ralston Valley, the community's really involved with the football program. And, and I try to say, Coach Lloyd, it also has to show that your success is drawing personnel too. And he tries to shy away from that. And then he says, and it's funny, I tell the kids flat out, I don't know where I'm going to put you all. You can't all play.
Yeah.
But they just want to be a part of it.
And that goes to show how great of a coach, how great of a coaching staff he's assembled, that these guys want to come out and simply put the work in during the week, knowing in most cases they're not going to get the opportunity to get those game reps. It just shows what a great team he's already built.
Right. You got kids willing to be team players and go, look, I'll be a scrub and I'll be a practice squad because I'm going to help Andrew Wingard, get better.
Every player is important and they all serve a role. You just got to figure out what that role is. I told you we're going to give you the next level student-athlete player of the game at the end of the game. But the Next Level Student-Athletes game plan is helping high school athletes advance to the next level, strengthening academics, athletics, and social and financial responsibility. Visit ProPlayerServices.com to get your game plan started.
Snap comes around, the handoff to the inside, and that'll be an easy score for 15 Dalton Pribble. I got on that conversation talking about numbers because we have two 15s on the Ralston Valley roster. I'd like to go to the senior listed as a running back. Dalton Pribble scores, and Kyle Root will come out to kick. And, you know, we're at this stage to where actually Root's not going to kick it. We have a reserve field goal specialist come out.
It's Matt McNeil who's going to come out and make the kick.
McNeil is a starting defensive back, getting some reps as a kicker. He puts it through very nicely.
Very nicely. You never know. You always got to have a backup plan, and even for your kicker.
So 58-6 is the score. Josh, you were talking about next level athletes. We're going to talk about the ones playing here today, but at the true next level collegiately, each of these programs have put out some prime talent. You talk Ralston Valley, I think of Dan Skipper, who's a starter on the offensive line at the University of Arkansas. Kyle Griffin, a starter in the defensive backfield for Northern Colorado. Just down the road, Jeff Granville, Nate Weimers. Big impact for Colorado School of Mines. And then for Arvada West, you know, Paul Thurston at Nebraska, Mark Musto at University of Colorado.
And we're talking about big-time college football programs. They're not going to, and nothing wrong with going to a division program if that's what fits you best, but we're talking about these coaches and his agent talking about maybe trying to test the water again in the NBA.
Vazekas, a popular name around the neighborhood for sure. Meanwhile, A. West with the football, starting at the 20-yard line. No longer Travis Thorsten out there playing the quarterback position for Coach Pyatt. That's Lucas Lastowski.
And Lastowski, see if he can come in and hang with this big defensive line that the Mustangs are throwing at the Wildcats.
I mean, correct myself. Lastowski is how we correctly pronounce his name. He's no joke either. Coach Pyatt brought him up, saying, you know, he's going to play. He had a broken pinky nailing a D lineman off of a pass to where he was out. He's the best athlete on the squad is how Coach Pyatt described him. So we'll have to keep an eye on Lastowski here.
Lastowski that time rifled the football into A.J. Montgomery. Montgomery made one man miss but couldn't get away from a linebacker in the middle of the field. Heck of a throw there from Lastowski.
Coach Pyatt kind of hinted that we were going to see two quarterbacks throughout this game. Must have elected to go with the passing game of Travis Thorsten. Lastowski more of a run threat.
And there it is right there. That quarterback draw goes nowhere that time.
Wouldn't be the first time in a production call coaches hint at something that doesn't come into play out on the football field. We're gonna stack them up and run game exclusively.
They're not quite sure what you'll do with that information.
You're right. Okay, coach, you're a bunch of wideouts, very talented, all D1. You're gonna run it. So Lastowski, short gain on first down, now looking to pass. He's going to get through there. Excellent block. Trying to pick up a number on who helped him out in that pass protection there. That was Perez, one of the blitzers coming in. Perez pushes to the outside. Lastowski reads it well and is able to pick up a first down on his feet.
Lastowski that time, I thought he may let the play develop a little more, but he's seen the room out in front and decided to take the green that he could and move the change for a first down.
58-6, 7:10 with a running clock here in the fourth quarter. Ralston Valley well on their way to moving to 3-0 as Perez gains about 9 against the reserves on the RV defense.
Seen Perez a couple of different times make some moves and pick up a handful, but he hasn't been able to break outside of those safeties, and it's a good job by the Mustang safeties holding their ground and not letting anybody behind him.
Friday night lights are, in fact, ignited up above us here at the NAC. But it's a 4 o'clock game. We've got a whole lot of football to go the rest of the evening, including here. You'll be able to dig around the StreamItSports.com website. Coming up, Josh Dover will have the call for you. Another Jeffco matchup, Stanley Lake against Green Mountain, which should be very fun. All kinds of games going on. Updated score, Columbine still with that lead at Jeffco, 28-7 now over Bear Creek. 9 minutes left in the final quarter there.
Stousey that time rolling out to the far side, trying to find a receiver, and when he came up, looked like he grabbed his thumb immediately, kind of trying to adjust it. He's still looking at it as he walks off the field. You can see him there, number 12. And a lineman checking on him right there. We'll see if Thorsten comes back on as he's snapping his helmet and talking to him about the injury.
I mentioned the 4A game that you'll be able to watch here through the Stream It Sports platform. There's also a couple of 5A games that you can find right here at streamitsports.com. Grandview, top 5 in Class 5A, taking on Arapahoe. The Wolves under Coach John Schultz, 2-0 right now. And then a big one, Corey Lopez will be on the call. You can listen to Silk, as we call him, make the call. Big one, Lakewood, 2-0, taking on Chatfield. That game will be at Jefferson County Stadium, Lakewood, with some huge wins. See if they're for real legit, even though it's early in the season, taking on Coach McGatlin's wide-open offense with the Chatfield Chargers. That's all right here on Stream It Sports. Dig around. Lots of football if you like that, because you're cool.
It's a flag down. Thorsten on the screenplay that time, so he does come back in. We'll see what the update is on that thumb. So nice execution on the screen for the Wildcats, but unfortunately that's going to come back.
So a nice play under the direction of the new quarterback, Lustosi. Block in the back. They'll retreat to the 36-yard line. Still running clock, approaching the 5-minute mark here in this final quarter.
And you're with us here on Stream It Sports. Marty, you mentioned we'll have the next game as well. If you like what you see, you love what you see, don't forget to go to Stream It Sports, the store. You can purchase a DVD or a Blu-ray copy today.
Little dump to the outside. Success. It's going to be a first down pickup for Arvada West. Well, we know we like the looks of Joey Perez. That's just who caught that reception there, moved down the field. Perez has got a bright future ahead of him with Coach Pyatt and his staff.
Finally getting some room to be able to maneuver there, and you see him catch that ball, make a break to the outside, and he's able to lower his shoulder, run over a DB, and pick up a couple of extra yards. Just got to get your guys the football in space, and that's what they're trying to do, but another interception.
Ralston Valley with the pick here. Excellent tackle on the part of Lustosi. Who's the quickest one on the field after an interception? QB.
That's exactly right.
Well, he makes a great tackle in the open field because you thought for a moment that RV would be able to go down the field and score. That'd put him up at 60-plus on the scoreboard. There is a flag down on the field off your screen.
Right now it's Dalton Shady who comes up with the interception. We'll see if it stands. So it was actually after the interception, the penalty accrued. It was a personal foul on 77 from the Wildcats. And I didn't get a chance to see it, Marty, but I can imagine that has a lot to do with frustration. And as we look up at a big lead, the Wildcats looking up on, and then an interception, I'm sure that was all frustration.
5th interception of the game for Ralston Valley. 2 by Greg Castanuela.
And that time, so Dalton Shady will get the credit. As I said, the penalty came after the play, so looks like Dalton Shady's going to pull double duty. He is your tight end on the near side here, 48 for Ralston Valley.
Pack tight RV. They're going to go to the run game, stopped well by the reserves of that Arvada West defense. Now about 2:30 left, and the clock continues to tick. We know the outcome of this football game. Ralston Valley is going to pick up their 3rd win on the season. They'll move to 3-0. Looking ahead, RV will take on Andy Lowry's Columbine Rebels. That'll also be here at the NAC, and then Chatfield a week later. Arvada West, hey, 2-1's pretty good, all things considered. 2 nice wins to start off the season.
Now, things aren't going to get easier. They're going to go to Mullen next week.
Yeah, they're going to take on Mullen. And I've already done a Mullen game. They're still so very young, so many freshmen and sophomore starters with them. They are very talented. Young mistakes, they occur.
Yeah.
But Coach Thinnell knows exactly what you can just tell he knows what he's doing by design as he took over that program.
And you could be seeing almost the future between Arvada West and Mullen because both teams are pretty young. It's something in the making that, these kids continue to play together. In 2 years from now, when we're talking about juniors and seniors, maybe talking about the class of this 4A division.
Mullen next week for A West.
5A.
And then they're going to take on Pomona, who's a powerhouse. I did the Pomona game against Valor. And that was a litmus test for Pomona, and they played out quite well. Just a 5-point loss. Player of the game, what do you think, Josh? You're over there analyzing.
Yeah, looking at a couple of different players, and Kyle Rush stands out. He goes to the top of my list for what he's done. Anthony Falbo, another guy. I don't want to take away from the defensive side of the football either. And you just said it. Grade Castellanella had a couple of interceptions. Not that both weren't big, but one coming big timing-wise. So he's certainly up there as well. And on the other side, I still want to give the Wildcats some love, even they have a big deficit in front of them, and this thing is all but over with 39 seconds to go. I cannot say enough about the quarterback play in Thorson, who has always been, from the get basically, down on the scoreboard. And he's hung in there. He's made good throws, knowing that he was going to get hit. He's throwing to locations and not to open players. And to me, that says a lot about his football IQ that we talked about with Wingard. So if I have to give some love, which I'd like to do to the Wildcats, Thorsten had a heck of a game as well, even though his team is going to come up short. I really like what I saw from the young quarterback. But as far as who's going to walk away with our Player of the Game award, I think Kyle Rush right now is your leader in the clubhouse.
Yeah, we don't have stats available to us. He's got to be 200-plus in terms of yardage totals.
Coming off of a 122-yard performance last week, 13 carries. And we're going to get some encroachment here. Looks like Arvada West getting a little excited, trying to read that snap count. Oh, no, they're going to get Ralston Valley for a false start. So Arvada West moved because they saw movement.
I like that you mentioned Travis Thorsten. You see all the good traits in the way he plays quarterback. 5 interceptions. People are going to go, no way, what are you guys? What,
right, yeah.
What'd you put in your monster drink up there? But no, you can tell he can play the quarterback position. I think a big part of what happened to Travis Thorsten and the A West offense in its entirety, and we can't give one award to a group of guys, but boy, that defensive front just continually attacking Travis Thorsten, getting in his face, rushing him. Colin Root, Dylan Baker, Kyle Emery, and then linebackers coming up on the rush. Jack Martin, Anthony Vessa, just continually pressuring the quarterback.
And quarterbacks and coaches, you win, you get the credit. You lose, you get the blame.
Yeah, right.
That comes with the responsibility and role of being the quarterback or the coach. So, as you said, Thorsten did all the right things, looked like he can make those throws. He just needs a little bit more time. And Arvada West's front line is just running to a juggernaut. Yeah. It's not a detriment to them as much as it is a kudos to Ralston Valley.
Well, the scoreboard reads zeros, and that's how we'll finish. Big props. Mad ups to Ralston Valley and what they just showed you on your monitor. Final score of 58-6. Indeed, the Mustangs of RV moved to 3-0 with a very comfortable victory over the Arvada West Wildcats. So up next for Ralston Valley, they're going to take on Columbine next week. And for Arvada West, they'll try to turn it back around and keep that momentum going they secured from their start. They will take on Mullen next week. But here, not so much for A West In-town bragging rights, that goes to the guys in Columbia, blue and white. Ralston Valley. Final score 58-6. I want to thank Phil and Alex for helping us out with the technical operations. Appreciate the camera crew for their beautiful visuals. And, of course, to Josh Dover for helping us out. I'm Marty Cesario. That'll wrap it up. Again, from the NAC, Friday Night Lights, Ralston Valley looking good with a 58-6 win. Good evening from the North Area Athletic Complex.